Hello, I am Jose Diaz, and in this tutorial I will show you how to download, install, and create your video presentation using Adobe Rush. Okay, here we go. The first thing we need to do is to open your favorite internet browser. In this case, I have Google Chrome open on my computer. The next thing we're going to do is on the address bar, go ahead and type adobe.com. This will take you to the Adobe landing page. On the top right hand corner, you have the sign in button. Click on the sign in button. Now, to sign in, you have to use your FIT email address. In this case, my email address is Jose_Diaz1 at fitnyc.edu. Then go ahead and click on the continue button right below. It's going to ask you to select an account, whether it's personal account or company or school account. We're going to go ahead and choose company or school account. Now it's going to ask you to sign in using your FIT account. This time, only use your first name _ last name. Do not enter your full email address. Once you've entered your username and password, go ahead and click on the sign in button below. Now you can see that I am logged in to the adobe.com website. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to click on these 9 little dots or little squares on the top right hand corner. And then we're going to look for Adobe Rush. If you don't see it up here, just go ahead and click More. And then under Creative Cloud Apps, click View All. This will take you to the page that has all of the Adobe apps that you can choose to download to your computer. As you can see, I already have Adobe Rush installed on my computer, but you might not. So instead of saying open, in your case it might say install. So you would just click on install, and then that would download to your downloads folder. And from your downloads folder, you would go ahead and click on the installation file so that you can get Adobe Rush installed on your computer. It will be the same for a PC or an Apple computer. If you run into any issues installing Adobe Rush on your computer, please feel free to email me and I will be happy to help you with the installation process. Now that I have Adobe Rush installed on my computer, I'm going to go ahead and click on it to open Adobe Rush. Okay, so before we jump into Adobe Rush, I do want to mention that you will have to record your video either with a smartphone or an iPad, or maybe even the webcam on your computer. So to do that, you will need to download the Adobe Rush app on your smartphone. And so if you are an Android user, you can go to the Google Play Store and download Adobe Rush. And this is how the icon looks like. If you're an iPhone user or an iPad user, you can go to the Apple Store and download Adobe Rush from the Apple Store directly to your phone or to your iPad or your tablet, whatever it is that you're going to use to record your video presentation. Now, once you recorded your video using your smartphone or your tablet or iPad, you will then need to go to Adobe Rush on your laptop or your computer to create a new project. And so as you're creating a new project, you're then going to have to import the footage from the smartphone or your iPad or whatever that is into your computer or the laptop where you're going to edit the video. So I'm going to go through that process with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first click Create a New Project. And so now it's asking me, where does this footage live, right? This video footage that I have of myself presenting. And so what I did was I have the video recorded using my smartphone. Then what I did was I took that video of myself speaking and presenting, and then I sent it to my Google Drive, and then I downloaded that video to my computer. So right now it's in my downloads folder. So if I can locate my presentation video, which is right here, this is me. So I'm going to go ahead now, so this is in my downloads folder. So I downloaded this video from my Google Drive. And what I did was I used my smartphone to record my presentation. Once I recorded my presentation with my phone, I uploaded it to Google Drive so that I can download it to this other computer that now I'm going to edit. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because if you edit video using the smartphone, it's not preferable because this, it's a small screen and it's hard to edit video on such a small screen like your smartphone. All right, so here's my video of my presentation. I'm going to select it. It's highlighted in blue. Then I click on the Create button at the bottom right. It says Preparing Media. And what this is going to do is it's just going to bring in this footage onto the timeline on my Adobe Rush. Please note that I am not wearing proper attire, so when you are recording for your presentation, make sure that you are wearing the proper clothing as you present to your audience. And so here we have this video. It's about 21 seconds long, and I'm going to go ahead and play it for you by clicking on the play button here. All right, so now I'm being recorded. I'm having someone record me with a cell phone, and they're holding the phone horizontally, so that gives me space for me to put my visual aids here on this side. So following the rule of thirds, I'm at the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, I'm leaving space for me to put some visual aids. So basically, this is a recording of myself speaking to the camera, allowing the space on the right-hand side. I'm using the rule of thirds. And so I'm over here on this side, where allowing me space for me to then add visual aids on this side of the screen. So the first thing I want to show you is how to import those visual aids into my project. Up here on the top left-hand corner, there's a blue plus button, and it says Add Media. And so if I click on Add Media, I can then import graphics or any type of media into my project. I can also do a voiceover and also add music. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to Your Media so I can import some of my visual aids. And so in this case, I'm just going to use this picture that I have here of some fashion garments. And so I highlight the image and then I click Add. And now it's importing the file. Now you can see that it put the file at the end of the timeline. And also the image is too big. So what I did first to fix that is I click on the image, I grab one of these little circles at the corner here, and I just make it a little smaller just to make the video fit, the image fit. So that's pretty good for me. Now notice that I imported the image and it's at the same timeline or the same track as my timeline. I want this image to overlay or to be on top of my video footage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click on the image, drag it to the top of my video footage, and then I can just move it anywhere on the timeline. To move to the front of the timeline, you have this little bar here that I can just drag left and right. So I'm going to move this to the front of the video. Now that I have two tracks, one at the top and here's at the bottom, the one at the top is the image that I just imported, and at the bottom is the video footage of my presentation. And so if I bring the timeline over to where the image overlaps my video footage, you'll see that things do not look exactly the way they should be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the image, make the image a little smaller, like a pinch, right? And there we go, that's much better. And then I can drag the image to this other side, right? So this is what we talked about, the rule of thirds. And I can make the picture a little bigger. And you can see it looks like I am looking at the image as I'm speaking about the image. So you can make this image big or any size that fits on this 2/3 of the screen. And this is why we indicate in the beginning of the video to shoot horizontally so that you allow yourself enough space to add these visual aids. Now, we also talked about timing, where to insert these visual aids. So this is where you would then click on the visual aid and move it to the appropriate spot in the video in which you're talking about that visual aid. So let me just play that for you real quick so you can see how that will look. Holding the phone horizontally so that it gives me space for me to put. So as you can see, the visual aid disappeared. So if you want to have the visual aid last longer, what you do is you can grab the right-hand side or the left-hand side and then pull it or extend it to how long you want that visual aid to stay on your screen. So that's how you add or import a visual image into your presentation. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to add text to your video presentation. So in this case, we are going to click on this T icon and then add graphic. So click on that little plus button there. And on the left hand side, you have several templates for you to add text, right? So you can pick and choose any of these examples, or you can go ahead and click more and it'll show you more titles for you to choose from. If you're interested in creating a title for your presentation, you can actually go in here and choose one of these titles to have to begin with your video. So for example, let me pick a basic one here. Let's say this one. Now that I have it selected in blue, all you have to do is click on the blue plus sign, and that title is then added, as you can see here, right? And so let's say I want this in the beginning of my video. I'm going to drag this to the beginning of the timeline by dragging it towards the left, all the way to the left that way. So now that I have my intro title to my presentation, I can now click on it here and then drag it to the bottom and put it ahead of my video presentation that way. So here now I can click on the title, give it a name, And over here, you can change the color, font, shadows, etc., and spacing, or even the font style and color here. So I'll leave that up to you to decide how to create your title. So now I have an intro title with my name, with some animation. Then after the animation, it goes into my presentation.
All right, so now I'm being...
And then from my presentation, it goes to my visual aid. And if I wanted to add a visual aid, for example, a quotation, I can now pick this one. This looks pretty nice. Click on it. It highlights in blue. Then click on the blue plus sign. And now I have it over here. And then, I can now change the size by clicking on it and then grabbing the corners, just like that, and then moving it towards the right hand side or the left hand side of the screen. In this case, since I'm looking at it from my end, is a left hand side, and then therefore you can then change the text. If you don't like this one, you can just right click on it, like right here on the timeline, delete the one clip, it goes away. Then you can just come back here and find something else. Maybe this one looks better for you. Click on it, add, and then it appears on the timeline. Then you can move the timeline. And now I have this one. This one actually is really nice. It's titled Paragraph Title Overlay. And then from here now you can just left click and edit the words. And you can say Jose's text demo or visual aids. And so that's how you can add visual aids to your video. Remember, this looks pretty long. You can make it shorter or extend it just by simply dragging it this way to make it shorter. And then you can also move it and you can time it to where you want this visual aid to show on your video presentation.
The rule of thirds, I'm at the...
Okay, and so the longer you make it, the longer it will stay on your screen, or the slower.
Side, I'm leaving space for me to put some.
So go ahead and play with that. That's a fun way for you to play around, see which types of visual aids you like. Now, since we've added images and we've added text, how do we add B-roll footage to our presentation? So to add B-roll footage, you just come back here to the blue button, add media, and then you would then search on your computer for that B-roll footage that you want to add to your video presentation. I don't have any B-roll footage here that I can use, but if you have any, you can just import it into your project and then do the same as we did before. You can then just move it in and shorten. Oh, here's one. Let me try this one. So I'm going to click add. And there is my B-roll footage, right? And so if I want to make this a little smaller, because it is a large file, I can just shrink it just like that. Now, if you just want to use the, if you shrink it to the point where the part that you only need, you can do that too. But for this case, I'm just going to just shorten it up a little bit here so that I can just show you how I can then put it into my timeline above the video presentation. So here I have a little short video. It's of a Hindu wedding. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it a little shorter, drag it to the top, put it on my timeline just like this. Now you see it's taking up the full screen, so what I want to do is I want to make this a little smaller. Left click on the image, make it smaller, and just drag it over here to this side. Make it a little bigger. And now you can see I'm talking as well as the video.
And they're holding the phone horizontal.
Now, if I don't want the music to play, that's coming from the B-roll footage,
Can someone record me with a
that
cell?
will mute by clicking on this mute button here. Will mute the footage here as I'm speaking. But if you want to just have the B-rolls speak, then you can just unmute it. And if you are going to take it full screen, then just make the video full screen like that, and then just move it into the bottom timeline like this. Right? So now it goes from my title to then the video B-roll footage, and then it cuts back to me. Once you finalize your video and you're happy, then all you have to do now is to export the video. And so to export the video, you simply click on Share next to the Edit button here. So if you click on Share, now it allows you to choose in which format do you want to export the video. So let's say if I choose to save it to my computer, then you would choose local. If you want to send it to your YouTube channel, then you would click on YouTube here, and then you would sign in to your YouTube account, and it will upload to your YouTube channel automatically. It also has advanced settings here, and I would just keep those the way they are. You don't have to change those. Just make sure you log into your YouTube channel, and once you've done that, then you would click on the bottom right, Export, and that would send the video directly to your YouTube channel for you to then share with your professor. If you choose to save it locally to your computer, all you really have to do is just give it a title, say my presentation, and then you would then choose the folder that you want to save it to. And advanced settings, I wouldn't change that, and then just click export. The best option is to go with YouTube, because then you're not sending your professor a big video file, which would then eat up a lot of space on the email or on Google Drive. So what I recommend is just go to YouTube. If you don't have a YouTube account, you can create one. Then once you have your username and password, come back to Adobe Rush, click on the share button here at the top, then click on sign in, and then enter your username and password. In this case, this is my username and password right here. Now it's connected to my YouTube account. Do you allow Adobe to have access to your Google account? You're going to say yes, continue. Now I'm connected to my YouTube channel. Do I want to put this on the playlist? No. I'm going to choose a title, Jose Diaz presentation. I recommend making this unlisted so that it cannot be searched. It's not searchable. It only will be visible to you and to anyone who you send a link to. So I would choose unlisted. If you're okay with sharing it to the world, then you can go ahead and make it public, but that's up to you. After this, then I would just click export. So this will take a couple of minutes. Now, once it's done rendering, at the bottom you'll see publish. Go ahead and click on the publish button, and this will finalize your video and send it to your YouTube channel. So as you can see now, this video is now being published and it's uploading the file to my YouTube channel. Now that this is done and it says published at the top, you want to go ahead and click view on YouTube. This will open a new tab on your browser, and now my video will be played from here. Now, from here, I can just click on the share button, copy the link or the URL to my video, and then go to my professor's Dropbox assignment in Blackboard and paste this link into the Dropbox assignment so that my professor can click on the link and view the video that way. So that's basically it for creating a video presentation using Adobe Rush. If you run into any issues, feel free to reach out to me at Jose_Diaz1 at fitnyc.edu. Good luck.